All right, Larry Kruger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video as we break down their practice squad. It is now 17 deep and it is complete. We'll go through it and talk about it coming up next. And of course, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. I was just there, had the brisket chili. It's all amazing. Check out Pig and a Pickle. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Niners and the practice squad. Niners, like every team in the NFL, 17 practice squad members. But what really makes this intriguing this year is that so many of these players have the ability to not just exist all year on the practice squad, but potentially a number of these guys could graduate to the 53-man roster and potentially even start games for the 49ers. Now, some people would say, oh, that's not good news. You don't want your practice squad guys starting games. It means you have lots of injuries. It does, but it also means you have good players potentially stepping in that you like. If a guy can go from the practice squad to your starting lineup, that means he's improved as the year has gone on. And, the thing about draft, it's draft and develop. And now with these larger practice squads, there's more of an emphasis on the development side of it. So how you develop as a player and how you develop the back end of your roster and your practice squad and how you bring them along throughout the course of the year is going to dictate their success when they actually get on the field. So let's talk a little bit about the Niners practice squad because I think it's exceptionally deep. Let's start with the offensive players. Right away, I mean, they have Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Now I expect Scantling to be activated and play in Seattle, and every team can activate somebody off the practice squad 3 times. But Valdes-Scantling for a practice squad player is an unbelievable player, right? You're talking about a 6'4" player with a huge wingspan, 4.3 speed, proven NFL receiver, has done it and played with a lot of great quarterbacks. And he's never shown the consistency hands wise to really fulfill the potential that he clearly has because of the size and speed. And he just hasn't. He had a little momentum going in Green Bay with Rodgers. He never really got that momentum going in Kansas City. He did win a couple rings in Kansas City, but he's not old. He's healthy. He knows the system. And Brock Purdy is going to throw it to whoever's open down the field. And Valdes-Scantling has the ability to get open down the field. Can he hold on? Will be the question. He's a veteran X receiver with 4.3 speed. When he gets in there and Brock hits him down the field, does he hold on to the ball? And if he does, Marquez Valdes-Scantling could be one of the real steals of the entire offseason for any team because he's got that kind of talent. And Purdy, I think, also has an ability to hit the deep ball if you can create that separation, which is why I like Valdes-Scantling quite a bit this year. Another guy I like is Robbie Chosen for a lot of the same reasons. He's got 4.3 speed. Now, Robbie Chosen's been around the block a little bit. He's pretty narrow. He's pretty angular. He doesn't look like he's very durable, but he still has that speed and he can still go get it. And he made a number of plays on the practice field in Santa Clara this summer. He also is on the practice squad. Junior Bergen's on there as well. Now, I think this one, Malik Turner and Junior Bergen, I think are really on there. I think that's more about, trying to justify that selection, try to develop him a little bit as a player. He's a really great guy, but I just don't see special traits there. So unless he just becomes the most incredible route runner of all time and improves his hands, he doesn't seem like he's got explosiveness in and out of the break. He doesn't seem like he's got home run hitting ability to beat you up top. He's not overly big. I think 2-3 weeks from now, they're going to replace Junior Bergen on that practice squad with somebody else. At least they should. Malik Turner is another guy in the exact same category. Now, he's a veteran who knows the system, but now you got other guys, right? Now you've brought in Valdes-Scantling. The potential is they bring in Bourne on Monday for a workout. We'll see. You got Robbie Chosen. You've got Russell Gage. Do you need Malik Turner at this point? He might be sacrificed off this practice squad soon just for another position, but he's an interesting veteran receiver. Then there's Killian Zierer, who is their international player, replacing Isaac Alarcon. And, he does sound like a better prospect than Alarcon. He's an offensive tackle. I think the advantage that Zierer, I should say, has here is that he can play both sides. He can play right tackle and left tackle. So potentially, if the 49ers don't like what they have in their offensive backups at offensive tackle, they've got two guys right now that I think are both going to struggle in pass protection. If they decide that those guys aren't the answer, a guy like Zier is likely to see the field just because he does have experience at right tackle and at left tackle. Nick Zakelj, very versatile backup offensive lineman, a favorite of the organization. Brock Purdy's good buddy. I don't think he's quite developed the way I think he would or should. He's probably destined to kind of a career backup role, but if he can play both guard spots and the center spot efficiently, they're probably going to keep him around for the next couple of years. Drake Nugent, I think, had a really great second preseason game against the Raiders. I think he has starter potential. I think Nugent is a really underrated guy who can play center at the next level. I really do. He's smart. He's quick. He's powerful. He plays with leverage. He cares about the game. He'll make the right calls. Guy won a national championship at Michigan. He's really a good player. Drake Nugent. So having Nugent there, I think, is a good pick. Braden Willis, not a crazy about that at this point. I know they like him, and to me, it seems like it's time to look at other guys at this position besides Braden Willis. He's been in the scheme for a couple of years. He hasn't really broken through. He doesn't have any power as a blocker, and he's not a big target as a receiver. He's not a dominating run after the catch guy. So he's just kind of jack of all trades, master of none. And I do think he can be replaced and upgraded at some point. The two newest offensive players, I think, are the guys that I'm most excited about on the offensive side. Adrian Martinez is exciting. Why? Because he's playing his best football right now. He played really well in the UFL, won the MVP, won the championship. Very competitive, athletic guy. Always has been a great athlete. 4.5 speed. He doesn't throw a great ball. He's more of a relief pitcher. But as far as giving you a scout team look, you want a competitive, smart guy who potentially, if you have to, we've learned the lesson, right? We saw the 49ers fall back and lean on their last quarterback. And if your last quarterback can play, you got a shot. And if your last quarterback can't play, you have no shot. So what I love about Adrian Martinez is he's played live football and good football recently. So for a guy who you can get off the street to put on your practice squad, who just played at a very high level, granted, it was overall a lower level of ball, but he's playing at a championship caliber level and executing and operating an offense and having success. And he was a very competitive player at Nebraska. He finished up at K-State, but I saw him at Nebraska. He's very, very athletic. I'm talking about very good athlete. 4.5 speed. There's all kinds of quarterbacks who throw the ball better. It's not like this guy throws the ball great, but he can throw the underneath and intermediate stuff and be on time. He's not a great, down the field thrower, but he's an athlete and he's a winner. And to me, if Brock got hurt, knock on wood, right? Mac Jones got hurt, knock on wood. Niners are down to their third string quarterback. Well, right now it's Mordecai, but he's hurt, or it's Carter Bradley, he's hurt. And since you have two guys that are hurt, that guy, that third quarterback that you have on your practice squad is kind of important because he might play. And I like the competitive fire of Adrian Martinez. He wasn't the best college quarterback, but he's playing his best ball and he's getting better as we go, and he's got mobility. So I really think he's underrated. I really do. I really like Adrian Martinez. Secretly, I really love him. Also, last one on the offense, Sincere McCormick. Talked to him this week. Unbelievable. Built low to the ground, good, solid NFL backup back. Some people would say, hey, could you replace him with a Damian Martinez? No, because you'd have to put Damian Martinez on your active roster. So if you're going to take him off Seattle's practice squad, you'd have to. But I love Damian Martinez of Miami, who's on the Seahawks practice squad. But McCormick's really solid. Why? He runs coast to the ground, great body lean. He's a very efficient runner. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He played really good football at the end of last year with the Raiders. This he's kind of like a poor man's Frank Gore. He's 5'8", but he's very stout. He makes full speed cuts. He just makes you miss. He's very shifty inside. I really like him. Really like him. Sincere McCormick. Solid overall player. So there you go. There are the 49ers offensive practice squad players. Now let's that's the offensive guys. And next we'll talk about the defensive guys. All right, quick pause here. You guys know Sundays are all about football, and Chubby's has the NFL collection to get you ready for it. Whether you're tailgating outside Levi's or grilling with the family or just sweating out another Niners fourth quarter, they've got officially licensed gear that looks sharp and feels even better. We're talking polos. Look at this polo. I think sharp, like the one I'm wearing right here. There's swim trunks, mesh shorts, all with the official 49ers logo on it. That's right. Honestly, it's the perfect alternative if you're not a jersey guy, and if you are, it's a great way to mix it up. Comfortable, bold, made for game day. That's right. For a limited time, you can use our exclusive code, Larry, and you'll get $10 off at chubbysshorts.com/Larry. Yes, that includes the NFL collection, guys. Let the thighs out and let the good times roll. And here is the kicker. Chubby's is the ultimate football apparel brand, so much so they created their own fantasy football league. How about that? George Kittle, Ian Rappaport, and others have come together to assemble the Chubby's League on NFL Fantasy. Each week, the top 5 scorers will win a chance at a Chubby's polo or a Chubby's shorts combo with their team's logo on it. The grand champion gets the chance at the ultimate fan experience, which is a 5-city, 5-stadium NFL game day tour with a +1, while the fantasy flop faces hilarious and unforgettable punishment only Chubby's could pull off. So head to chubbysshorts.com/the Chubby's League to learn more and have some fun. Get ready for the most outrageous fantasy football season of your entire life. And remember, for a limited time, our friends at Chubby's are giving Crew Show listeners $10 off the promo code Larry at chubbysshorts.com/Larry. That's $10 off your order with the promo code Larry, Larry. And that includes the NFL collection. So support the Krug Show. Tell them Larry Krueger sent you. Express yourself. Level up your game day wardrobe. And do it with Chubby's. Well, the 49ers offensive practice squad group is deep. I kind of think their defensive practice squad group is got some potential starters in the second half of the year. Now, like if the offensive guys who could start, well, I mean, I just said I wouldn't, I could see Adrian Martinez in a pinch starting a game, and I wouldn't feel that bad. I think Drake Nugent can eventually start. Obviously, Valdez-Scantling can start. Robbie Chosen has the potential to start. So there's starter potential on offense too. But on the defensive practice squad guys, that's where I think there's real potential for these guys. Trevis Gibson is maybe one of the 49ers' better pass rushers. He had a great preseason. He had 7.5 sacks a few years ago with Chicago. He wore number 56 in the preseason. He's got moves. He knows how to place his hands. He's got a good first step. He's got a great motor. Trevis Gibson, absolutely is going to be used in a rotation. And I would not be surprised if Gibson gets some production because he's been productive in the past. And now he'll be playing fewer snaps. He's had 7.5 sacks in a single season with Chicago. Now he'll get more. He'll get fewer snaps. He'll be rested. And when he does get those snaps, he's really going to go. Also, I think he's on a better team. Bears teams were bad. This team's good. This team potentially is going to have a lead in the second half, and Trevis Gibson can hunt quarterbacks. So I really like Gibson. To see that he's on a practice squad, I'm very surprised, and I don't know that he'll be there long. Somebody may pick him off. Another guy who may be picked off soon is Sebastian Valdez. Valdez has got a great motor. And if you're looking for an interior rusher and just somebody who's going to play with his hair on fire, I wouldn't be surprised if they put him up on game day early in the year, just because you always want another guy who can get after the quarterback, and he's a versatile rusher with a great motor and great strength. So Sebastian Valdez, I think, is a starter. Jalen Graham had a great preseason. I was asking Johnny Holland about Jalen Graham, and he's like, yeah, he knows the defense now. And now you're seeing his true athleticism, come to the surface. And you're talking about a guy with great speed and great ability to track down plays. So I think Graham's got the ability to pop off the bench and if they have to start him, he could start. You got Eli Apple at corner. He started a number of years in this league. Derek Canteen, I thought, played with a ton of poise. When you look at the way the preseason came down, Canteen really looked poised, really looked like a guy who didn't look like a rookie. Can play multiple positions, has a good nose for the football. He just moves very naturally, and he's a competitive player. And then, the two other guys are Evan Anderson and Curtis Robinson. And Curtis Robinson, was on his path to being a starting Niner linebacker, I thought, a year ago, and then hurt himself and has battled back. And he might not quite be all the way back, but he is a really great special teamer that if you want to call up and designate him to play week 1, that would really help your special teams. And Evan Anderson, I think, absolutely can start. He might be the 49ers' best defensive lineman against the run. The Niners went with Jordan Jefferson over Evan Anderson. Why? Because Jordan Jefferson's got an electric first step, and he's also pretty powerful against the run, where Anderson's really solely a run defender. But what's lost in that translation is Anderson's a great run defender. So he's really a good player in his own right. And I think of these guys on defense, I think Gibson, Valdez, Graham, Canteen, Anderson, all have a shot to potentially start. That's 5 guys on the defensive side of the ball that I think could potentially start. On the offensive side, McCormick, Adrian Martinez, Drake Nugent, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Robbie Chosen. So you got 5 guys on the offensive side on the practice squad that potentially could start. So it's a really loaded group for the 49ers. And it used to be the practice squad was all about young guys and development. They got guys right now who I think they could plug in right away if they had to, and they could give them an honest day's effort early in the year because you got a lot of veterans in that practice squad room. And actually they're all in the same room because there is no such thing as a practice squad room. The practice squad guys are just in the room with the rest of the players. And as Shanahan said, he doesn't see any difference between the practice squad guys and the guys on the roster. And the truth be told, the reason he doesn't see a lot of difference because there isn't a lot of difference between the guys. I mean, obviously the practice squad guys are not quite as good, but sometimes they're just newer to the team. Sometimes they don't know the defense or offense well enough. Sometimes they have to get a little quicker, get a little stronger, work on their body, work off an injury. I mean, there's reasons that guys wind up on the practice squad, but I think you're going to see, of the 17 guys the 49ers currently have, I would say more than a handful are going to contribute to this season as it goes. All right. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to all of you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube,